So I saw Love and Thunder a couple weeks ago, and it was meh. While it wasn't bad, it wasn't very good. And I'm going to say this anytime I criticize a Marvel movie or I don't think that the movie was as good as everyone says that it was. Marvel movies aren't bad. They're definitely not unwatchable. They're just kind of disappointing or just meh. It's very unique because they're very disappointing or bad in their own unique way. Like, they're not unwatchable, but you can probably get an enjoyment out of them. But for me personally, I wouldn't watch these movies on my own for my enjoyment. I would probably watch them with a group of people, a group of friends, or even family, but not on my own. And I'm talking about the Marvel movies that I'm not so high on, not Marvel movies in general. There are really good Marvel movies, okay? So I always want to put that disclaimer out because it can get lost in translation. But my main problem with Thor Love and Thunder was definitely the jokes. I mean, it was just too much. Every single second, it was just a joke after joke after joke. And it was hard to tell when the movie was getting serious and when another joke was coming. And when you know that a joke is coming, it kind of kills the purpose and the weight of the joke. Like, it just doesn't do anything. And there are other issues with Thor Love and Thunder that I have, such as, Thor's character. I thought there was a huge missed opportunity with him, and they did not capitalize on that. Like, this is the first time we're seeing Thor after Endgame. And if you didn't watch Endgame, I mean, everybody was going through it. That movie was depressing. So he's still the same Thor that we saw, and he's still carrying that pain and determination. But again, the film doesn't play off of that. It's just constant jokes after jokes after jokes, and it's just really distracting. While the second phase of that movie is better, it still just doesn't save it for me. And I really do feel like there's a missed opportunity between Padme and Thor. The idea of them drifting apart because they're afraid of losing each other is a great concept, and they should have played into that more. But they didn't, and it is really disappointing. And after this movie, I kind of come to the conclusion that Phase 4 movies have been pretty disappointing. And again, when I say Phase 4, I'm talking about the movies, okay? Except you. When it comes to the shows, I relatively enjoy them, even though they are not perfect and there are flaws to them, especially you. I think the main problem with Phase 4 is they just don't really know what to do with these characters and these stories. I mean, look at Eternals. That movie was a mess. The story wasn't engaging. The characters were meh. The only good thing from that movie, was the action. Everything else was just terrible. I did not like that movie at all. When it comes to Doctor Strange, same issues kind of apply. I feel like Doctor Strange just was not, charismatic enough, or, how do I say it? Engaging, or, connecting with audiences. It was tough to really understand him. And yes, he does go through his own little phase in that story, but I don't know. I just couldn't really be engaged with it. I don't know what it was. And then with Thor, just like I said, there was a huge missed opportunity with this character, and they just kind of don't capitalize on it. And it's weird because Thor's literally making jokes the entire time, but it comes off very annoying, not charming. Like, it's forced somehow. And I think that's the problem with these Phase 4 movies. They just kind of don't know what to do. Obviously, Spider-Man No Way Home was great, but the other ones, they just have not lived up to that expectation. And I'm saying that because I've seen Marvel make great movies. So I'm holding them to that expectation to make great movies out of Doctor Strange and Thor. And I really feel like the multiverse is not being used properly. And again, I talked about this in my Doctor Strange video, but it really feels like they're lacking in that area, and they just kind of don't know what to do with it right now. I think they're saving their ammo for the big Avengers movies, which is positive, but still, it's really not being used as properly as I expected them to use it. And Loki came out like a year ago, and this is the fourth movie that's come out? I don't think Thor even mentioned the multiverse. I could be wrong, but I don't think they even mentioned it. And if they did, I still don't think it's used properly. So, I don't know. Maybe it's my expectations, or maybe it's the expectations of Marvel that has put on this audience. But it's just, these movies just are pretty disappointing so far. I cannot lie. So yeah, it's been pretty disappointing, and I think Marvel really needs to get back to what makes them great. Big storylines with charismatic characters and actors that have a lot of chemistry and charisma. Phase 5 was announced about a week ago, and I think that it's going to be really good. We're getting 2 Avengers movies about Kang, and that should definitely tie into the multiverse. And we know when the MCU is on top of things, and when they are engaged with these bigger storylines, that they are really good and engaging in general. So hopefully Phase 5 is better, but so far I've been pretty disappointed by Phase 4. But we'll see what happens. Who knows what the future holds.